I'm Matthew Hyde, Chief Executive Officer with Snowy Valleys Council. We've just released our integrated planning and reporting documents for public exhibition, and the public exhibition period closes on the 7th of May. So we just wanted to give you a brief run through on our integrated planning and reporting documents, and essentially it starts with our community strategic plan, which was done 4 years ago, and then Council develops a delivery program, which is the term of Council, what they're going to do over that period. Each year then we adopt our operational plan and a budget that's associated with that operational plan. And that's the patch that we're out consulting on at the moment. So we are talking about the 21-22 operational plan and the budget. There's a whole lot of other strategic documents that are associated during the integrated planning and reporting processes, and they sit on the side and feed into this process. The integrated planning and reporting guidelines for New South Wales have a very specific outline that it's about planning for a sustainable future. We have a 10-year long-term financial plan, and the 10-year long-term financial plan forecasts what we're going to do over that 10-year period and checks in to see whether our operations are sustainable. Just a bit of a wrap-up on a snapshot on this year's budget. It's a $73 million total budget. There's $35.4 million worth of capital works, which includes $13.6 million in our transport network, $10.5 in economic development, $2.8 million investment into our food organics and garden organics, $2.6 million investment into renewals and upgrades for water service network, $1.8 million investment into renewals and upgrade of our wastewater network. This year there is a 2% rate cap set by IPART, and that's made up of 1.8% for the normal general cap plus 0.2% for our council election costs. We're also entering into our harmonised rating system, our new rating system that brings the two former shires together under one rating structure, and that commences from 1 July 2021. Our operating income for this year is $65.8 million, and our operating expenditure is $48.4 million. Our operating deficit is $1.7 million before capital grants, and we have a $17.4 million surplus including capital grants. There are a number of cost pressures on local government, and Snowy Valleys is affected by those as well. Our rate cap has been well below the relevant price index for years, particularly the public sector wage index and wage increases required by the local government award. We've also lost our special rate variation from 1 July 2020, and that contributed $650,000 from the Tumut area into our rates. A whole lot of other cost pressures like the emergency services levy has grown 65% over the last 4 years, and just in the last year there was a 28% increase in that levy, and that represents 8% of our revenue. We've had an increased number of upgraded levels of council assets and increased maintenance and renewal costs, reduced operational funding from the financial assistance grants, and limited rationalisation opportunities from the merger process. Our service level harmonisation has generally meant that our services have gone to the highest level, and there's an increased cost associated with that. I'd like to introduce now our Chief Financial Officer, Suzanne Andres, to run through the current funding model.
This is our current funding model. This is the model of next year's budget. You can see we receive in rates and annual charges 28% of our revenue. On the other hand, 45% of our revenue is made up by capital and operating grants, which come from federal and state and some other agencies. This is in contrast to what is happening across Australia. On average, Australian local governments receive 38% of their revenue in rates and annual charges, and only 14% in grants. So we have a quite different funding model compared to your average local government. The Snowy Valleys long-term financial plan is currently on exhibition, and this is what we would like your feedback on. We have 3 scenarios of the long-term financial plan on exhibition. One is a continuation of the existing budget. The second one is the one that you see here in this graph. It's what we call the SRV scenario. It proposes a 25% special rate variation from year 2. And the third one is an optimistic scenario. And as I said, we would like feedback on these scenarios and what the community thinks about these. It is a requirement that we put up multiple scenarios to give the community an idea of how the long-term financial sustainability of council looks like. The cash position forecast is quite an important one. While we proposing to have deficits under the baseline scenario for the next 10 years, we are also having a problem with our cash. You can see the red line going downwards, and the red line is actually our baseline scenario. So if council doesn't do anything on the expenditure side or the revenue side, this is what's going to happen to our cash holdings, and the depletion of cash holdings to a level that is completely unsustainable and actually below the requirements of our funding agreements. The purple line, on the other hand, shows you the cash position forecast that we would achieve did we get the SRV and the expenditures savings that we're proposing.
We do have an obligation as an organisation to achieve internal savings as well. And part of the documents out for consultation includes the sustainability plan. And the sustainability plan talks through the various options that we will be doing as an organisation to have internal savings and efficiencies. And I commend that you also have a look at that document. The integrated planning documents include a proposal to consult on a special rate variation. To be very clear, that is not to include a special rate variation in the next budget. It will include an option to go out and engage with the community and consult about the community's opinion and sentiment around a special rate variation. We anticipate that that will happen in the next month and heading into later this year. We will then present that information that the community has given us through to the new council, and the new council will make a decision on whether it wishes to lodge to IPART to have a special rate variation. The proposal is for a special rate variation over a 2-year period, totalling about 25%. The community engagement process for that includes the 23rd of April. It's now the 7th. The community engagement process includes submissions being lodged by the 7th of May, Friday the 7th of May, into council by close of business. The community strategic plan and special rate variation consultation will be in May, June, July. And on the 17th of June, council will adopt the current integrated planning and reporting documents, which includes the operational plan and budget. On the 4th of September, we have council elections. And then in November, December and January, we'll be starting to consult on our community strategic plan and the special rate variation application. January, February, moving into the delivery plan and our integrated planning and reporting documents for 2022. All of our documents are available on our website, and there's various links there. I commend you to go in and have a look at those documents. If you have any questions, please come and ask us. It is very complex. We've tried to simplify it down today, and essentially very important to note that Council is adopting the operational plan and budget for the 21-22 year. We are not including in that a special rate variation. It does include our rates harmonisation, but the special rate variation will just be an engagement process in that financial year. Thank you very much.